I think it was good now. Yeah, I think it was good now. Yeah, it was good. Yeah. Especially like the whole PS5 disc is bullshit. Like I need to say, everybody have their own set of piece. I have my own set of piece. Everybody, yeah, definitely. But the thing was this, man. But the thing was this. People are like what taking it out of proportion, and they're thinking like having a disc is like you have the ultimate power. I think that kind of that kind of mindset needs to die because you don't have the ultimate power. Yeah, because simply is this, man. Simply is this. Especially PS5 and Xbox, you living inside the DRM. Unlike the reason was this. The reason I'm telling you, you guys live in the DRM was you can't break PS5. If you break PS5, you can't play latest games. But I can break my PC. I can pirate my games. I can preserve my games. But you can't do that. Like literally, man. Literally, if even if they make discs, even if they make discs in the future, still they can literally stop using. They can literally make you stop using the disc by only doing something like every time every time you put the disc, there needs to be an online connection. If there's no online connection, you can't play that game. They will check you. Yeah, literally, you living inside a DRM and acting like this gives you ultimate everything. Like nah, fuck off, nah. Literally, yeah. I want to say that before I start this video, because that is my point on this video. Yeah, because this doesn't give you any authority. It's a fake authority. Like yeah, I have this. That's it. Nothing more than that. Literally, it all comes down to the license agreements. Yeah, what does that mean? What does having a copy mean? It might be an online copy or a disk copy, wherever it might be. What does that mean? Yeah,
So GTA 6 is getting a physical edition that is only a physical edition if you employ scare quotes. Predictably, this made people furious. Discs aren't just plastic circles, they are leverage. It's important to understand that a physical
man. What kind of leverage you have? I literally fucking started with that point because he started with that leverage point. Yeah, I literally started with that point. Like man, like Microsoft has an outage. Okay, most people can't even play Halo because the game needs to start with an online connection. They can literally do the same thing for every game. What you can do then? They will literally say, "Yeah, we want to know you're using the legit copy or not." What you will do then? Well, literally, this is never a leverage. It is just a piece of. It is just a piece of. It's just a piece of plastic that you will throw away. Yeah, literally, it means nothing for a common man.
disc is not ownership. Because I am against the idea of selling us a game license, and for the idea that we should be sold a copy of the game which we have the right to do what we want with, it's very important that I say that. Simply advocating for discs does not solve that problem.
Yeah,
And
that's true. He actually like what? Even though he says this is the leverage, he's still telling my point. The fucking license agreement, man. It needs to say what does having a copy mean. Yeah, and also all the PS5 nerds and all the console nerds, fucking open your eyes and think. You guys live in a DRM, yeah. If you guys don't understand what I'm saying, fucking go Google what is DRM, yeah.
not understanding that we didn't own the game on the disc and not fighting back earlier is what puts us in the situation we are in today. PlayStation is no longer going to be publishing discs either. But a question I certainly don't have an answer for is if Rockstar is taking their cues from PlayStation or if PlayStation is taking their cues.
I probably say they probably talk to each other, yeah. They probably definitely talk to each other because man, if you see properly, yeah, if you see properly, every time I think it came from a tradition, yeah. Like for example, they started with Red Dead one. It goes to completely Xbox one, and after that they said nah, we're going to make things work properly, and they thought okay fine, we will like what make consoles first, and after that come to PC, yeah, right. I think it comes from that angle, yeah. I think it comes from that angle. They probably talked to each other and said, "Yeah, let's reveal this bullshit." Yeah, I think that's what happened. Because man, I need to be honest. A disc mean nothing, especially for the consoles. It mean nothing. They can literally pull up some random nonsense, and your disc is just a unnecessary weight. Literally.
From Rockstar, considering how minimal the Xbox is going to matter in the equation, and they're only launching on Xbox and PlayStation, at least in the beginning, presumably Rockstar would have known that PlayStation was doing this ahead of time and just said, you know what, why bother? Why?
I probably say, it's kind of like a coordinated attack, not like, yeah, they're attacking, I also need to attack. No, I think it's not that. It's probably a coordinated attack. They talk to each other, and this shit happened. I personally think that, yeah.
Do discs. But nevertheless, the physical disc itself was leverage. Legally,
No.
You didn't own the game. But because of the nature of physical objects, they didn't have.
Dude, no. Literally no. Especially on the consoles, no. Single-handedly. Because you can't break the console. Like for example, let's say they stopped you. They stopped you to play this game offline. Okay. For example, they stopped you to play this game offline. Okay. What you going to do then? And you don't have online. And for almost like what? For 1 month. What you going to do? You don't play that game for 1 month. Yeah. That's the point I'm trying to say. Leverage means nothing in the consoles. You guys living inside a DR, completely a closed space. Unlike PCs, if your disk is not working, if your copy is not working, there is somebody who make like what? A patch, a crack. There is a real preservation on the PC side. Unlike what are the shit you're trying to say, yeah, disk is a leverage. Disk is just a weightless object. A fucking weightless object that just sits on your desk. Again and again, disk is a leverage. Nah. Because man, the way consoles work, disk is never a leverage. They can literally say disk is just an object. We need the ultimate connection to understand is this piece of copy legit or not. Yeah. Or they can say, they can literally like what? They can literally block your disk unless you have a certain type of code. I think there's nothing wrong in it, but still that kind of shit happens. Or they can say literally close the game and they say, well, disk is not the ultimate thing. We need to download from the certain software. Man, disk is never a leverage. Never. It's never a leverage. You can say it's just an internet connection, but that is the point, man. That is the point. You need an internet connection to go further. If you need an internet connection to go further, then how disk become a leverage? As I said, there are so many cases, man. Like for example, you might not have an internet connection, or maybe your PS5 internet connection probably kind of like what corrupted a little bit, or maybe something else. That is why I'm saying it is never a leverage. They can literally say this copy means nothing using these cheap tricks. And also, where is these people when the fucking computer cases removing like what? CPU disks. Yeah. They started removing the DVD players. Yeah. These people never there. Man, if I'm not wrong, they started removing DVD players at like what? Around 2015 and 2017. But then where are these people, especially gameranx, IGN, these people, where are they? Talking like, yo, they're removing DVD players in the PCs. Like, where are they? Where is that outrage then? Where is it? Oh, Steam is great. Man, don't get me wrong, Steam is great. But the point is this, they like so much Steam, they crave for Steam, they fucking think Steam is the god. They think there's nothing wrong happening in the PC, but there's something wrong happening in the PS5. What kind of bullshit analogy is that?
Have the ability to take it back. Due to that leverage, you had the ability to preserve the game, to reset.
Dude, you lack nothing to preserve. Like for example, let me say this. If PS5 servers are down, at some point, just like PS3, just like PS4 at some point, and now PS5, at some point PS5 servers are down. and the game only runs with fucking online. What you will do then? What you will do? Nothing. That disk is just a fucking, you know, a piece of weight that sits on your desk. These motherfuckers living in a DRM, completely closed space, and acting like, yo, we're preserving games. Fucking brainless fucking thinking, literally.
Sell the game, to lend it to a friend or buy it used. But further, having a physical copy that's a glorified cereal box.
And also the second thing, they can literally make one copy per person. They can literally make that. They can fucking literally can make that, man. Literally, like, that's the thing I'm not understanding. Yeah, if they want, they can literally make. Once the disk is used, they can literally put a code on the disk and say, this disk is used. That is not meant to be used. That can't be used for next issues. Literally, they literally saying we can do that shit. Yeah. Nah, man, fuck off.
Prize pretty much ends the whole midnight launch thing. GTA is one of the last series truly big enough to create an actual real world.
Man, let me stop this, okay? It is just a waste of piece of time because he talking like how great like what, like a disc sales was and how great it's for people to make friends, blah 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 blah. I don't give a fuck. If you go to a disc shop and make friends, so be it. Good for you. I don't give a fuck. So yeah, I will skip this part. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I will come here.
Somewhere in the 10 million copy area, and that a large number of those pre-orders have likely already happened. So there's clearly something different about GTA, because the things that are happening around the release of it, while from a consumer standpoint suck, a lot of us wouldn't buy it if it weren't GTA 6, but it's GTA 6. And let's just be clear, I don't want to single out Rockstar here. All of the pro-consumer videos that we make, which sometimes target single companies, are really not meant to just be about a company. Rockstar didn't invent this business practice. We have seen a number of releases like this. Nintendo even invented a clever way of getting around this, in that they created digital keys that aren't really the game, they're just a thing that you have to have to run the game. It's basically a code in a cartridge for your Switch 2, which is gross. I don't like that, and I, as of now, own none of those. But as a result, I've bought games digitally that, either way, I don't own. Rockstar, however, is not doing this on a whim. They didn't come up with it. You could even make the case they're following a trend, despite the fact that their game will absolutely define many trends to come. It's not actually that particularly creative of a business decision. It's almost an uncreative business decision, even. Part of the reason they're doing it, however, I do think makes some degree of sense. I don't agree with it and I advocate against it, but Rockstar wants control. I don't think they just hate physical media and want to personally slap every collector in the face. I think they want control. We all want.
Man, this is the point, okay? This is the point. There is a two sides of discussion in the physical media. One thing was the collectors. I literally say, go fuck yourself. All the people who colored this, physical discs, go fuck yourself. You people are literally the nightmare for this whole conversation. Yeah, I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to the people who think they are preserving games. Yo, we are preserving games. Yeah, having a disc is a good thing. Yeah, we can use it later. Like for example, so many people think like this. So many people think like this. A disc come with a preload, and after that we need to download a little bit so we can play the game like that. There's nothing wrong in thinking like that. But the point I'm trying to say was this. They can literally change it if they want. Your disc mean nothing if they want. You fighting for this mean nothing now. Literally, man, literally. That is what I'm trying to say. I'm talking to these people who thinking like what? We having a disc is like what? Having like something like what? Like we preserving it and also saying and also at the same time we don't need to download bigger files. I'm not against you guys. I'm saying you guys are thinking dumb. But I'm against the guys who think no, we are collecting things. Now fuck you guys. Literally fuck you guys. This conversation is not with you. Go fuck yourself.
Want control. They're just an entity with unlimited money to exert control. I'm going to go through a little bit of the rationale, and this is not an endorsement of the rationale. I just want to say that straight off. Please understand that before you write your comments. But if real discs exist, they have to be manufactured, shipped. They go to warehouses and retailers and stock rooms, and employees handle them. Delivery trucks move them around. Every step is essentially a point of failure. And with GTA 6, a copy getting out isn't just somebody playing the game early. It's spoilers, cutscenes, the map, missions. It's all everywhere. It's endless YouTube videos about leaks. It's endless information out that they view as part of the reason people buy their game. And correctly so. A lot of people don't like spoilers. For many, it deflates the value.
I don't give a fuck about spoilers here, literally. For me, spoilers are like what? Even gave me like what? Interest to play the game. If the spoilers are great. If the spoilers are bad, I don't play the game. Yeah, for me, I want the spoilers. But I'm not the game ending spoilers, but I like the spoilers, yeah.
Of the game. It makes it feel less impactful. I'm not sure I necessarily entirely agree with that. I subscribe to the it's not the destination, it's the journey philosophy on this stuff. It's not what, but how. But I am not everyone. And certainly, I sympathize with people who have this viewpoint because that's part of what you're buying. And to be clear, you're not buying it for a low price. $80 for the standard edition and $100 for the ultimate non-pay.
And also, man, I need to say this, okay, about the pricing. Like, for example, these people can fight now. Yo, you guys are not selling us physical discs. Then why don't you down that price? Because, yeah, they can literally ask that, no, but they're not fighting for that. They're asking physical disc, physical disc, physical disc. What kind of bullshit crap way of thinking is that? Man, in the end, why we want to play games? To enjoy. And we want it as lower price as we want. As lower price as we can. They can literally ask that now. Why are we selling at this price? Especially all other games. If you guys are not interested in, especially for the PS5, yeah. If you guys are not interested in selling us, the disc versions, then why are you selling at $80? Why are you selling at $70? Why it can be 60 or 50? Because they removed the disc versions, right? Yeah. But they're not fighting on that angle. They're fighting like, oh, we want this, we are preserving it. When they're not even preserving nothing. They literally preserving nothing because your disc will be a dead weight if the PlayStation wants so, if the Xbox wants so. But on the Windows, no. Because Windows is different. In Windows works entirely differently. Because PS5 completely a DRM based, yeah, like a closed space. Windows is an open space. Because Windows is not a how should I tell this? A gaming platform. It is an enterprise platform, yeah. What is enterprise, you might ask? It is like what? Windows will be used by some company, some school, some student, and some idiot like me. See, when it is like that, they can't put a DRM on it. If they put a DRM, they will say, no, why this fucking DRM affecting our work? Like, some doctors say that, some schools say that, like, that's why they can't put a DRM on it. That's why. If you literally think of preserving games, that only happens on the PC. Yeah, you can fight for that. Yeah, you must release a PC port at some point. You go tell it to the motherfucking PlayStation owners. But now we want physical discs. When the physical disc can literally become a fucking dead weight. You motherfuckers not fighting for main things, fighting for the illusionary things. Fucking dumb fucks.
Paywalled edition is steep. Generally speaking, games should not cost this amount of money. I laid out an entire case for why games should target a price of between $15 and $30, $50 at the highest, in a video we did a week and some change ago called Why the Hell Is Nobody Buying Games? After this video, I'd highly recommend watching that. I think it's a good video.
Well, I watch those videos time to time, yeah.
But part of the case is that games shouldn't have the kinds of budgets that Grand Theft Auto 6 has. Games shouldn't cost that kind of money. And I don't want to defend the
Bro, what the fuck? 1.5 billion?
price or the budget of Grand Theft Auto 6, but I will also say it's kind of the exception that proves the
Yeah,
rule. I don't think I'm going to be critical of the budget of this game. I think that they spent a lot of money making what is probably going to be the most insane open world of all time. Whether we call it the best is far more subjective. The jury is, of course, out on that and won't be in until after we
that's true. Yeah,
play it. But when Ubisoft makes like an Assassin's Creed and the budget is $400 million, like a quarter of the budget of Grand Theft Auto 6, that doesn't make any sense because it's nowhere near the value proposition that Grand Theft Auto 6 is. When EA Sports inevitably asks $80 for a yearly installment on some sports game, it's just nowhere near the value proposition that Grand Theft Auto 6
that's
is.
true. Yeah,
And again, this is not a defense for Rockstar, but I don't understand the possibility of some 20-25 hour linear adventure game hypothetically sitting on a shelf next to Grand Theft Auto 6 and costing the same amount. To me,
Nope.
it's the exception that proves the rule. There's always an exception.
well, yeah, it is simple as that, man. The brand value is a thing. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, like for example, even though Ubisoft is brand is kind of like floating here and out, but still, it is a brand. Bethesda is also a brand. CDPR is also a brand. Yeah, the brand value has some value. Maybe paying like what, a little premium makes sense, but they're asking us to pay premium like what, almost like a quarter of the price of a game. Like for example, if a game price is like what, $60, they're asking us to pay $80 or $70 for games, like for the brand value. I think that is bullshit. I think that is bullshit. Yeah, I think that is bullshit. I think that is what's happening in the industry now. And also, like, man, and also I'm not highly interested, highly like what, acceptable with the brand value, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. Like for example, if you take Rockstar, there is like what, a mark we have. They made GTA 5, they made Red Dead 2, and we kind of like hopeful that even GTA 6 reaches on that level. Yeah, everybody's hopeful. I'm like, that is kind of like the main point. Yeah, but the point is this. But the point is this. But the secondary point is this. Can they deliver it or not? It's a secondary thing. But they have the brand value, and also they put the budget, so we are acceptable. But still, how much we are acceptable is also plays a point. And they also like what, being genuine on that. They could have went like yeah, we put like what, 1 billion. We want the returns as fast as we want. They can like what, but like sell this game for $90, $100, like base game. But they said no, it is only $80. They still kind of like what, reaching that mark of absurdity, but still that absurdity makes sense. Yeah, because they put that much amount of money, so they need it. But other games don't deserve that kind of price. No, never, never. Especially Ubisoft games, especially Bethesda games, especially any other, they don't deserve it. No, I hope people understand that. Yeah, they don't deserve it. I can definitely say they don't deserve it. Yeah,
Exception that proves the rule, and I think we've got it. Does that justify the price? No, but if any.
well, it justifies the price. Yeah, for sure, it justifies the price. But still, there is also another equation. I said now they can fight for it. Like for example, you guys are not trying to sell us like what, a disc version. Then why not tune down the price to $5 or maybe $10? You guys are not selling a disc version, right? They can actually fight on that. But no, they're not fighting on that bitch. And they're like, no, we want disc versions. Yeah, fucking idiots.
Anything, I think it strengthens the argument against the price of $80 games without being a bad game. Like, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be a good game. Everybody is going to buy it. I know none of us are going to like buying it, but we're gonna. And it's an $80 to $100 case with a piece of paper with some numbers and letters on top of that. It feels icky. And I know that there's going to be some...
Yeah, man, that is true. That is true. Like what? Paying $80 for a box itself is absurd. Yeah, itself is absurd. Yeah, for sure. I'm not denying that. But that's the point I'm saying. Fight for that. Not for, give me the discs. Because discs mean nothing. This word mean nothing. mean literally nothing.
People that say, well, you're supporting these practices by buying it. And I want to push back on that point because we don't control these companies' decisions. They do. How
See, that is my point. That is my fucking point too, yeah. Today they will say, yeah, you can download the game. Tomorrow they will say they own the game. Day after tomorrow say they are renting the game. That is how the systems work. In the same way, today you can use your disk with the online connection. Tomorrow they will say, no, your disk mean nothing. You need to download. Your disk is just, a placeholder, that's it. That is what I'm trying to say. That's why I'm saying you fighting for disks literally mean nothing. Yeah.
we purchase generally doesn't affect their decisions. Unless it is catastrophic in terms of sales, whoever ran the cost benefit analysis is probably correct that it will not be a catastrophic cost to them in terms of sales, or even realistically speaking, a cost to them in terms of sales. Just as the physical game is leverage that allows us to be able to do certain things.
Again, physical game is not a leverage, especially for the motherfucking, the motherfucking PlayStation, because you guys living in a closed space. You need to understand, man. Yeah, physical version is a leverage, but the console you're using don't let you use that leverage. Then what's the point of you having a leverage? I don't understand. Is these game reviews are dumb, or these game reviews are just just want to make videos to make some views? I don't understand that, because I like gameranx, but these people don't understand the main fact that the fucking console they're using, it's a closed space. It is not open space like Windows.
Things based on the physical reality of an object. The question of if consumer outrage affects a company's decisions depends on leverage. What leverage do the consumers have? Now, I know.
Let me tell you, we have nothing other than we are voting with our wallet. We have nothing, especially the product they're trying to sell to you, especially how they're going to sell to you. We have nothing. Only the leverage you have is you need to what, put your hand in your pocket and take your purse out and take the credit card or debit card and use that card to pay for the game you like. That is the leverage. That is the only leverage you have. You should think you have more than that. You are delusional, literally delusional.
That many of us who are purchasing the game are wise to all of these things. We understand this. We've been following the industry for a long time. And there's other people who maybe haven't been following the industry a long time, but are extremely observant and notice the practices of companies as they happen. But you have to understand the reach of Grand Theft Auto is so far beyond us. There will be hundreds of thousands of people that watch this video and agree with what I'm saying about these things. And there are billions of people on the earth. There are far more casual gamers who buy one or two games a year and don't really pay attention to the industry or the practices. And
that is the thing. You thinking you paying close watch on the industry, even you didn't understand. The fucking console you're using, it's a closed space. The fucking, the people who run in the console, they can literally do whatever they want because it's a fucking piece of code that runs on online. Man, oh man. I don't understand these people, yeah. You people are dumb motherfuckers.
And that's who's gonna play this game more than us. What's our leverage? If we don't buy the game, the consequence isn't they sell so much less to them that it doesn't matter. The consequence is that they find new consumers who don't know the stuff we know, which is, to be clear, the worst outcome.
But still, man, that stuff you know is literally mean nothing, because you thinking one-sided. Yo, if we have this, we have leverage. But you're not thinking the other side. The console you're using is like completely a closed space. Yes, I'm being a broken record, I know that. But he keep on talking about the same topic time and time again by using different words. And I don't know that many words. I'm not a negative English speaker, so I only know a few words. I'm only saying what I know in those few words. Yeah, He keep on saying, yo, if we need to talk back, if we have a disk, we have a leverage. That is what he's trying to say almost throughout the video. But the point is that he only seeing one line argument. Yeah, okay, I have disk, I have leverage. But he fucking forwarding the fucking console is fucking ruled by PlayStation. If they want anything we want to, if they want anything they want to do on the console, they can do it. You can't even fight back. You idiots not even fighting back on that. You idiots not even fighting back like what? Using this argument. Okay, you're not trying to sell. You're not trying to sell a disc version, right? How about you reduce the price then? There are so many ways to fight back on this. Nah, we want discs, so we can preserve. We have a leverage. What kind of bullshit argument is that? When you guys are living in a closed space, these people acting like like a PS5 OS is a PS5 OS operating system is like Windows. No man, nada, nah.
Because then they stop caring about making a game that satisfies people who understand games, people who understand when a practice is exploitative, people who get this stuff.
Man, you guys are being exploited. Not now. Since fucking the Steam started selling games online. Since fucking our PC cabinets removing DVD players. Since fucking they fucking said you need some kind of online connection to play online games. You guys are getting fucked since then. And now acting like you guys getting fucked now. What kind of argument is that? What?
There's certainly enough of us that our sales matter to them that they will attempt to make a game that satisfies us, but not enough of us where they can't find people who know less. And that's partly why we make videos like this. We're trying to bring more of that awareness out there, but I don't want...
If you talking, you guys making videos to say like, a good game is good, bad game is bad. I agree with you. That kind of awareness is needed. People should know that. But here in this topic, your very one-sided argument. Very one-sided argument, yeah. That argument makes no fucking sense. You clearly think like, you are in the in charge of PlayStation operating system. You clearly thinking like that. When you are not in the in charge of PlayStation operating system, no, you're not. Because even Windows, I'm not in the in charge, but still I have the leverage because Windows is an enterprise product, not a personal product. Yeah. Windows is an enterprise product, not a personal product. Yeah. So if they do something to fight against gaming, they can, yeah, they can, there is like what other people try to fight back. Why are you putting unnecessary stuff? It is affecting us. They need to like constantly make a code from ground up to fight against gaming, but I think they can do that because they don't have time and the engineering power to do that. Literally. Yeah. And that is also main reason I'm against SteamOS. Because SteamOS is also same. You can't preserve games on the SteamOS. No, you can't. You buy the game, if the game has a denuvo, it has denuvo. But on the Windows, I can preserve them. I can buy a game, still I can preserve the game. Using some kind of like what alternative methods. I don't want to say the name, but you guys know it. Yeah.
Want to do something in which I create unrealistic expectations for people by saying you shouldn't buy the game. That will have an effect. I know that it's not as fun to say, but again, this is such an outlier of a game that almost anything that happens with this game sales-wise, positive or negative, will be viewed as an exception. Beyond that, I just don't believe we have the leverage to cause something. But I don't want to say these things to depress you or to make you feel as though you have no power. The fact is, I want to say these things because I want people to start asking the question, what's our leverage? If we start asking that question more seriously, we will start finding our leverage. Because it's not your wallet. You can't vote with your dollars. That has not changed things. Look at the overall trend for the industry. You vote.
Okay, it has not changed things. I will give you examples, man. Yo, Vulture, I will give you examples. Dragon Age Veilguard. People choose their wallets. And the game, poof, it's gone. Concord. People choose it with their wallets. Sony said, nah, this game is not working. And after that, Resident Evil 9, people choose it with their wallets. That game become good. And Pragmata, a very new game. People choose it with their wallets. It become like what? In the 21st decade, sorry. Yeah, in like what? In like year 20s, in this whole decade, it became like what? The number one IP, the number one new IP. Well, your wallet matters, man. Your wallet matters. But for this game, it doesn't matter. But for all other games, your wallet matters. Literally, these people will say, like this kind of thing applies to everything. No, this kind of applies to only one thing. That is Rockstar games. That is big games. Like for example, Dragon Age Veilguard is a very big game, especially in the gaming space. But still, people voted with their wallet, and the game, poof, man, your voting with your wallet matters. Literally matters, yeah. But for this game, it might not work. We need to wait and see. Yeah.
Voting with your dollars got us to today. I can try to explain the mechanics of it and have people argue with me all day long, but
dude, Rockstar games are different. Literally different. Let me tell you why. Because everybody know you can get something out of it. You can mod, you can go to online, or you can play the story, or you can do the random shit. That is what is this game for. It does everything as an entertainment, yeah. So when it does everything as an entertainment, it is for everybody. The game is for everybody almost. So it will make money one way or other way. Even if like what? Even if in 100 people, 50 people vote with their wallet, still 50 people will buy it because that is what they have. Because these games are something people want. Yeah, one way or other way. Like, and comparing this game to almost every other games is brain dead move. Yeah, literally brain dead move. Because it doesn't work like that. Because wallet actually works, especially for games, especially for any entertainment medium. But that point don't work for Rockstar games because, as I said, it gives multiple things. Yeah.
Today is the result of voting with your dollars. It doesn't work. That isn't Rockstar. That isn't.
Well, if voting with my dollar doesn't work, why? Why this game that made by Bungie, Marathon, is in the abysmal mess? Why? Why High God is in the abysmal mess? Why? And why Saints Row in the abysmal mess? Why? So you're saying So you're saying So you're saying because your game journalism said Saints Row's new game is bad. That is why it gone. No, because people thought, okay, this game is bad. We don't want to buy it. See, the wallet matters, man. The wallet is the leverage you have, but not for every game. I think you need to specify on that, man.
Dumb consumers. That isn't any of that. It's the fact that we don't have leverage over the industry. Why? And this is the point where I tell you I don't have the answer. And no one person will.
No. You guys have the answer. But you guys fucked it up. Literally. Now there is no disk. Why are you not fighting on, especially the so-called online people, right? Why are they not fighting on, okay, there are no discs. Why don't they increase the prices now? Yeah, because so many people think, okay, they're trying to sell the disc. Okay, they're trying to cover the disc cost by using this insane price. Why are not they fighting? Okay, you guys are not interested in you guys are not interested in selling the discs, right? So why are you guys not selling? So why are you guys not decreasing the price? Why? You guys, that is the fucking leverage you keep on talking. That is the leverage you have. But now you guys don't ask because you guys don't have a fucking dicks in your fucking in the place you need to have. You are bitches who only fight for unnecessary things.
You'll have the answer. If somebody makes a video telling you this is all that's got to happen and things will change, that's a lie. It might be a comfortable, fun lie that feels good, and it might even just be that person lying to themselves rather than to their audience. And it's not even necessarily inherently dishonest, but it's a lie. Now, this isn't.
Oh, so this person, so this individual saying, yeah, so this individual saying, I'm lying. What the fuck? What the fuck? So this individual saying I'm lying. So me saying like what me saying, you motherfuckers fight on this cause is a lie. Fight on like what? Reducing the prices. It's a lie. But you saying disk is a leverage is not lie. But even though I debunked it almost multiple times in this video, in this live stream, well, then who is lying? You or me? Man, I fucking like these idiots, these people, these idiots reviews. These guys give reviews so fucking well. I love them. I love their reviews. Like, for example, when the industry is mocking, Black Myth Wukong, these people come out and said, it's a great game. These people are legit. There's nothing wrong. There is not even a question in it. These people, as a reviews, they are legit. These people know what they're talking. But in this topic, I don't know. They're trying to take like what? A neutral stance and say like, yeah, we can do anything and also we can do something. Yeah. Or they're trying to act like, complete, like, how should I tell this? Like completely insane people. Yeah. I don't know what's happening with this video. Yeah, literally. Like, because as I said, these people know what they're talking. But for this particular video, I'm not understanding what he was trying to say. Because disk is a leverage, not gonna lie. But the console they're using, the leverage mean nothing. That leverage mean nothing, yeah.
Into conspiracy or anything. I don't think that anybody's actually intentionally going, oh, we got to do the thing that Falcon's about to describe so that nobody has any leverage against us. I mean, there might be some psychopath out there doing it, but at very least, most probably aren't even thinking about it. Part of the reason we don't have leverage is these types of actions, which take away things like I mentioned, the midnight launches where people make friends and community is built.
Go fuck yourself. Literally. I don't want to make friends, motherfucker. You want to make friends, go make them. Good for you. But don't raise this topic, man. It's fucking bullshit.
This is the kind of game people want. Single-player games with a beginning, middle, and end. It's why we started the 1% Club and the Falcon Show, which data bears it out. This is the kind of game that's important. And to some degree, it's also important that Grand Theft Auto succeeds in that respect, which places me, personally, in a very conflicted position. Rockstar is the trendsetter. What they do here to make a single-player game a worthwhile business prospect will be copied by other developers and publishers. And to be clear, that's good, because a lot of these people have been trying to copy each other with the
No. The whole lifestyle situation, I need to say, I don't understand why they so eager to have that unlimited cash cow. Man, you need to understand, Rockstar has unlimited cash cow because they are selling straight up experience. They clearly say, if you can go for how much you want, we're not going to stop you. Or else you can buy our shortcuts. That's literally a legit model. Like, yeah, people can say no, yeah, it's a cash cow, like, but you need to understand that's a very legit model. Because if I want, I can farm it and I can make money and I can use that money to buy whatever I want. Especially like what? Especially how they like what? Make things like, for example, there are some heists that you can like what, do single-handedly and get like what, almost like 500k, 800k. Yeah. That heist, man, that heist that involves police, yeah. But the point is that you can make money and buy things and live lavishly in Rockstar, in GTA 5 if you want. or else buy like what these shortcuts and live lavishly. That depends on the player. But these games, the other games, they clearly say like what these kind of like unnecessary things. But like you need to use your real world money to buy a skin, to buy this unnecessary stuff. But Rockstar never do that. They clearly like, yeah, you need to buy shortcuts to buy whatever the shit in the game. Man, that's very legit thing, man. That's very legit thing. If people saying like what Rockstar is same like other people, you guys don't even know what the fuck you're talking. Yeah, literally don't know. But still, the live service shit, it definitely goes out of hand. They want that unlimited cash cow, but they're not understanding. Literally not understanding. Yeah, what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, like for example, yeah, I don't want to talk, man. I don't want to talk. It's just straight up bullshit. Like for example, if you take Fortnite, they have V-Bucks. Yeah, you can get V-Bucks daily, one or two, or maybe I don't know. Maybe they removed that program, but you use V-Bucks to buy something in the game. But the point is that you can't get V-Bucks like GTA dollars. Nah.
Live service model, and like the successful live service game is the unicorn one is chasing across the rainbow. I want more of this type of game. I don't want hundreds of millions of dollars to be spent on this type of game. I want developers to understand you need smaller teams and smaller budgets to make something that is actually a very high level AAA experience now. Technology and technique have advanced significantly over the last 30 years, and you can make something pretty insane with a group of 50 people and $50 million. And you can make a profit much easier off of that than you can with a staff of 1,000 and a budget of $500 million. And you could be making more games like this with these smaller staffs and budgets. Like, you don't have to fire everybody in your company. You could make small...
Man, let me tell you on this, okay? The whole, people losing their jobs. I want to say this, okay? I don't give a fuck, merely because I'm not the one who causing this. You guys went to these companies thinking like what you guys make something greater. Yeah. So these people said, no, we don't need you. In the end, you also need to understand. Most of the time, they kind of like what? They kind of like fuck these guys who are like what low level jobs. Maybe it's like what very rare for a high level job person to lose their job. Most of the times low level jobs. The reason low level jobs will lose their jobs was because they take you as a contract based, but they don't tell you. Your job is done, they will like fuck off. I'm not saying they will put a legal document that says you guys here are contracts. No, but still, if they don't need you, they will fuck you off. Because low level workers are not daily workers. No, they're just temporary workers that needed for the game. I think the industry needs to understand it. That's why I'm saying I don't give a fuck if the low level workers losing their jobs, because you need to update your skills to be the senior devs. Otherwise, you lose your jobs. Simple as that. I don't give a fuck most of the time because you guys don't do mostly anymore. You guys like what? Maybe like do like what shader patches, or maybe like what animation tweaks, like what, like at the end stage, at the very end stage. You guys are not even skill based workers. You guys are like what? Do minute things. When you're doing that kind of minute things, people will say, nah, we don't need you anymore. But still, you guys need it at some point. Yeah, that is a legit thing. But you guys are not needed like what? Throughout, like you guys are blood. You guys are blood. We need to support you. I think you need to improve your skills to a company give a fuck about you. Yeah. Yeah. I personally think it is not only in the gaming, it is almost in every way. Like for example, if someone is working in a construction business, yeah, like that construction that worker needs to like what? Needs to learn. Even though he's a fresher.
Smaller sub studios.
Give me a sec, okay? Well, guys, I will come in and saying, yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I will continue my what is it? My construction example. My construction example is this. Even if you're a fresher, you need to learn. If you don't learn the job, they will say fuck off. I think that is what is happening in the game industry now. These people hiring these people for like low level jobs, and these people are only doing low level jobs. When you're only doing low level jobs, they will fuck you up. It happens in almost everywhere, not in the game industry, in construction business, in almost everywhere. Yeah, you guys need to develop your skills. Yeah, I will come. I will come back in a sec. Yeah, there is a little thing I need to take care. Yeah, I'll come back in a sec. Hey. Where do you go? Where do you go? Oh well, guys, yeah, I came back. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. If you have dogs, yeah, it's kind of like horrible. Yeah. Those idiots don't even let you eat stuff. Yeah. Hmm. Well, yeah, we're all yeah.
and make more games for
Give me a
less
sec.
money that are frankly quite good with the level of technology we have today, and you could make more money. This took Rockstar 13 games like this with these smaller staffs and budgets. Like, you don't have to fire everybody in your company. You could make smaller.
Well, yeah. As I said about fighting people. Yeah, I said it is not just companies being greedy. Yeah, there's definitely a part of it. I don't lie. But the second part was a person needs to develop his skills. Like for example, if a person is working on one game from start to end and his skills are not developed and still the same guy like the first day on the game, then what's the point of he staying in the job? What's the point? Man, if it's a construction job, they will say fuck off to that guy. If it's any other job, why gaming needs to be some kind of like what a higher priority? No, they needs to give him like what the ultimate. Yeah, you work for us for no. I think that way of thinking is bullshit. Yeah,
Sub studios and make more games for less money that are frankly quite good with the level of technology we have today, and you could make more money. This took Rockstar 13 years. Ostensibly, they've been working on at least concepts of Grand Theft Auto 6 since the day Grand Theft Auto 5 went gold. There's no chance, no.
I personally don't think, but they're probably working on this since 2015. Yeah, like concept, like by concept wise. Yeah, I personally think that. Yeah,
Nobody was working on it in the whole company. That's a long time that most studios can't go between games. And they don't need to. Not everybody is Rockstar Games,
yeah.
and not even because of talent, but not everybody can be Rockstar Games. But that's the business side. We aren't the business. You
By the
guys.
way, there is one developer came close to that, like Rockstar level, but they just poked their eyes with their own incompetency. Like for example, take CDPR. Yeah, CDPR. They actually came very close. Like for example, man, if you compare the Red engine with the Rockstar engine, especially like what Red Dead Redemption 2 and Witcher 3, the similarities you see like what is is like mind blowing, literally mind blowing. Yeah, because the world is like what the world is like on par with Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, graphics definitely Red Dead 2 takes the cake, and AI also. But still, the point is that it is kind of about competing alongside with one of the greatest legends like Rockstar. But they just not like like removed all the main engineers. Then what happens? That engine doesn't know what to do. Yeah, like there is one company that came close to Rockstar. If I have to say one company that came close to Rockstar in the technical level was definitely CDPO, but they fucked that up literally with their own hands. Yeah, but yeah, I want to say it, yeah, because as he said, there are not many people like Rockstar. They never be, but there is one company that came close. I want to say that, yeah.
Is me, we just buy games. And while I often leave you with some kind of prescription, I think that we're at a point where asking the questions and having the conversations is far more important than trying to pretend we have the solutions, because
Yeah,
we don't. If
yeah, literally, these people are doing that. Man, I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to say go ask questions like why the game is higher price. I'm not asking that. I'm saying I'm giving a suggestion. It is your choice to ask. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about prices. Like I'm being honest here. Because I don't buy on day one. I buy when it go for like what? A 40% sale or 30% sale or maybe 50% sale based on the game. But for GTA 6, I probably buy it on day one because I want to enjoy this game as fast as I want. Maybe if I wait, maybe at least I wait for like what, a 20% sale, maybe based on my my income at that point of time. But the point is that here I'm not trying to say my way of things are correct. I'm saying why are you not thinking like that? Why only this? This is not going to save anything, man. This is not going to save anything. They just give you a fucking dead weight.
If we did, we'd be doing them. Our previous attempts at changing how this industry works haven't worked. Am I excited about Grand Theft Auto 6? Absolutely. Will I buy it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that I'm some degenerate idiot who doesn't care about everybody else either. I'm not the reason the business is like this, and neither is anybody else who is buying the game. We live in the world as it is today. It is asking the questions that could potentially give us the way to make it better. And so rather than attempting to tell you that I am the expert and that I know everything, I think we only get...
But man, I need to be honest, yeah. I definitely don't agree with him keep on saying, disk is a leverage without looking at the border point, but I agree with everything he said. It all comes to, license agreements. It all comes down to, just because we showed on the internet, that doesn't change. It's just a noise. That's it. You're just wasting your time. I agree with that point, yeah, but I don't only agree with one point he's saying. Disk is a leverage. Without talking the main ecosystem he's living in it, yeah. I think ecosystem matters. Yeah. As I said, Windows is an ecosystem that is open. PlayStation is an ecosystem that is closed. SteamOS is an ecosystem that is closed. Yeah. Well, that is why I don't give a fuck about SteamOS. Literally.
Somewhere together. So while we always ask for comments at the ends of videos, I really in particularly want to direct you to our comment section on this one. I want this particular video to function like the forum posts of old. Let's have that discussion. Let's talk about where we go from here. Let's talk about what...
Man, if I have to say, you need to ask questions. Just like he said. And those questions are how we can reduce the price. I think that is the main point now. Because our only argument is that, in my case. But I don't give a fuck. Literally. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to have these issues on my head. I don't want to go onto internet like Twitter and say, go on to every PlayStation post, every PlayStation post and say, you suck. Do you think I have that much free time? No. To make a video like this, I don't have that much free time. As you see, there is a delay between this video because I have some work to do. I just like what? I just want to express whatever I want. So in one way I can make some money, and another way I want to advise people. The way you're thinking is wrong. Yeah. Literally in this particular video, even Vulture, I think his name is Vulture, yeah. Even Vulture also, yeah, like thinking wrongly. Even though there are so many points he got correct, but the main point he thinking wrongly. He thinking disk preservation is enough. Nah, disk preservation is not enough, especially for the console, because console is an ecosystem that is completely closed. It is on the terms of the motherfucking, who, the companies, the corporations. But Windows is not like that because it is an enterprise product. Man, if these people are not understanding that, their way of saying like what we have leverage means nothing. Yes, we have leverage. Our pocket is leverage. Our voice is leverage. The internet is leverage. You can ask questions and like what? Like put them on the road. Like corporations like, yo, why don't you decrease the prices now? Like now the discs are not there. That's a very valid argument. Also, I'm not good to do that. I don't give a fuck. If I'm being honest, I don't give a fuck about prices. Because most of the time, I don't buy games on day one. Because you guys are fucking knuckleheads, yeah. Why you guys buying games on day one? I don't buy them, nah. I wait for sale. Like, I waited for sale, like Steam sale. Now I bought, Resident Evil 8 almost like, 600 rupees. If I have to convert that into, US dollars, it probably like what? let's say 600 rupees, right? Yeah, 600, yeah, close to 700 rupees. It is like what? Close to $10. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is like 90. Yeah, now $1 is 90 rupees. So 900 rupees. Yeah, so it's more like what? Even less than $10. See, I wait that much long cycles, yeah, to buy a game. Because man, for me, I want to support the devs. And also I need to give a fuck about my wallet. So yeah, that's how it works, man. Yeah.
Things are going to look like in a few years. Let's talk about what we could potentially do to have leverage. Rather than angrily freaking out about every single thing that happens, why don't we start talking about what we actually can do? And it's not just don't buy the game, because that's not how it.
Man, don't buy the game never works. Never works. But it only works on certain products. Literally. Literally, yeah. Don't buy the game definitely not work for Rockstar games. Because I will give you a perfect example, okay? I'm a guy from India. I don't know Rockstar Games has. I don't even know Rockstar Games existed. For me, Vice City, San Andreas, yeah, that's it. I only know game names. For me, those games are, sandboxes. I open the game, kill people, and like what? Do some crazy stuff, do some cheats. By the way, I don't even do that on my PC because I don't even have PC at that point of time. We go to net caves to play these games. You understand the point, right? These games play in different kind of zones. Some people play this game, Rockstar games as a completely sandbox. Some people play it as, a story experience. Some people play it as completely different thing. They want to mod the game. They want to do whatever the fuck they want. These games work like that. When they work like that, the wallet analogy makes no fucking sense for this, yeah. But it might work. That is the main reason so many bad games are failing. Yeah. If it doesn't work, I don't think. Yeah. If it doesn't work, I don't think. I don't think like what? I don't think then those games don't flop. That works. That is why those games are flopping. Yeah. Yeah. But good game, your wallet, nah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. Yeah.
Works. Again, that's the strategy that got us here today. I've heard people say to vote with your wallet my entire life, and most people take their own advice on that. So what do? Leave us a comment, let us know. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I'm Falcon. Again, join the 1% Club. That's where you get the Falcon Show exclusively every weekend. I'll meet you down in the comments. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.
Oh, that's a good video, man. That's a very, very fucking good video, but still. The point is this, yeah. The point is this. You're very great. You have like what? Exactly what to say on some points, and you kind of like what? Missed some points, yeah. That's the reality. But still, yeah, it's a very good video, yeah. A very legit video. You kind of like what? Took a stance, like, especially on the internet mob. Why are you being angry? Literally, why are you being angry? It's not like you lose anything. Why are you guys wasting your time by going to every PlayStation post and like what? Putting whatever shit. Like literally, man. Yeah, you guys are wasting your time. Why are you guys doing that? Literally. I'm happy that he actually like what take a stand on that. Like don't waste your time. Don't fucking waste your time. Okay, if you don't like it, let it be. Because you've been like that, he made a video and reacting to the video. We guys are making money at that point. At some point, I make money on this. These people making money on talking about this. In the end, we are happy. You guys are fucked up. Literally, what the fuck? Yeah, what the fuck, man? Yeah, I'm taking my leave. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah, I need to edit this video. Yeah, well, maybe I might not edit it. I don't know. Yeah, but still, I shouldn't have went outside in the middle of the video. But still, yeah, there's something I need to take care. Well, I'll see you guys back. Yeah.